ಏನು
ಕೆಳಗ್ ಬಿದ್ದು ಪಾಪಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಳಗ್ ಬಿದ್ದಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು.
ಏನು ಇದಾರೆ ಸರ್
ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರೀ 27 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗಿದೆ. ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಬೇಡ
ಸರಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. ಆನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. Hi, good afternoon to all and welcome you all for the third day FDP program. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person for the session, Dr. Jadhav Pratap Singh, currently working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Political Studies at Central University of South Bihar, Gaya. Sir, prior to joining Central University South Bihar, he taught at the Department of Political Science, Osmania University, Hyderabad. Sir holds MA, MPhil and PhD from the Central University of Hyderabad. His areas of research include governance, Indian political process, public policy, political philosophy. He published several research articles in reputed journals and contributed chapters to edited books, including a publication by Cambridge University Press. Sir has shared sessions and presented 18 research papers at various national and international seminars and conferences held at reputed institutions, IIT, Jawaharlal Nehru University, TISS Mumbai, Central University of Hyderabad, and Central University of Assam. With his rich academic experience and expertise, we are intent to fortunate to have Sir with us today. Sir speaks on AI and ethical concerns in academic research. On behalf of Dr. S. Gopal College, Anekal, and GFGC Bangar Tirupati, Kolar, and everyone present here, I warmly welcome you, sir, and request you to take our decision. Thank you all. Sir?
Yeah. Thank you very
Over to
much.
you, sir.
Okay, let me just. Am I audible, sir?
Well, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, can you see these slides?
Slides now, sir. Not at display, sir. Not visible. Now it is. No, sir.
Now is it visible?
Now is no, not, sir. It's went off.
Is it visible, sir?
No, sir. No.
Sir, you are visible, but PPT is not visible, sir.
Screen.
Yeah. So I'm trying to connect it.
PPT is not visible, sir.
Now, sir, can you see now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Hello.
Sir, it is visible, but there is some issue.
Maybe from your end, if there is any option to, whether to allow me to share my screen.
Just a minute, sir. ನೇತ್ರಾವತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಸರ್.
Now visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No visible, sir.
But I can't see you. I mean, that should be appear on, side. In the side, I can see you, but that is not happening. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, perfect, sir.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay, but now I can't see you. I don't know.
Sir, you are sharing your entire
So we
screen, I
can-
suppose. That is why there is an issue.
Sir?
Could you share only the window where the PPT is presented, sir?
I'm not clearly able to hear you, ma'am. Hello?
You open it in an alternate tab and try it, sir.
Open with? Is it visible? Hello?
Now
Sir?
visible, sir.
Okay, I will just. You can see my face on the screen?
So face we can visible, sir.
Okay, but I can't see your face. It's okay now, since it is.
Now we can see, sir.
Yeah. So.
Now, sir?
Yeah. No, I can't see you. Just I can see my slides.
Now we can visible, sir.
No, fine, no issues. Okay, let me.
Sir, your slides are not visible for us. Please go to the share option.
Yeah.
Select the window.
Window, okay.
Yes, sir. Click. You can see your PPT in one of those windows, I believe.
Yeah, I can.
Yes, yes. Please click on that, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now you can go to full screen mode in that, sir. Yes. It's visible now, sir. Thank you.
Sir? Voice can stay.
Sir, you've muted yourself, I believe. Could you please unmute and begin, sir?
Okay, now fine, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, audible, sir.
Okay, you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can see your
So
screen also.
earlier, okay, let me again, I mean, wish esteemed principals of both the colleges and the faculty members and the respected
Not more
participants. Okay, a very good afternoon. And at the outset, I would like to express my gratitude for giving me this opportunity to be a resource person in this FDP program. Okay, so I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. And your screen is also visible. Thank you.
You can see PPTs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. So today's the lecture topic is AI and ethical concerns in academic research. Okay, so what I will do is I will just decode what is the meaning of AI and ethical concern and research. Okay, so before going to discuss the ethical concerns, I just want to discuss what is research. I am aware that in the previous session the resource persons might have discussed how to conduct research and what are the tools that we can use in the research and what are the softwares that we can use. But I am not going into those details. But my focus here is on ethical concerns of the researcher. Okay, and how he can employ AI and how he can avoid the AI. Okay, so before going to discuss that, I want to ask a basic question: what is research? If you could reflect on this. Some reflect on what is research? Okay, it's fine. So research mean there are two terms: research. Okay, so in research is relevant in our everyday life and in everyday activities. Okay, so for example, from morning to night, whatever activities we choose to do, okay, there we involve certain decision making process, certain choices, looking toward what is good and what is bad. Okay, and we make choices based on assessing our actions, assessing the objects, okay, and assessing our preferences. So therefore, in everyday life, we use research. If we, for example, for instance, if you go market and we want to buy an apple, so we'll see which quality apple is good and who is giving less price and which apple cost more. And when finally prefer, we see both quality and price. Okay, so therefore, research is essential and inevitable part of our life. But should we consider all our daily practices as a research? Are there research practices that distinguish from these everyday practices? So, for example, in ancient Greek, I would like to highlight the ancient Greek, the intellectual. There was an intellectual group in ancient Greek. So one group is considered as a sophist, and other group were considered as the philosophers. Okay, so they were sophist because they were not committed to the research integrity. Their focus is more on aimed at the capturing power, whereas the philosopher were worried, concerned about real issues, the societal problems, and unfolding the truth. What is the reality? What is the nature of reality? Okay, so therefore the purpose of research is to know the reality or the truth with the pure rational, pure practice, and for the social purpose. So sophists were not called as a philosophers because they were doing research for their benefit, for their power, and they would pay teachers. Whereas philosophers are we may call researchers. So therefore we use the doctor of philosophy. Okay, so we say we conduct research for discovering the truth, and we have our method for social purpose. Therefore, in this light, I would like to highlight the NDP's objective that knowledge creation and research are critical in growing and sustaining a large and vibrant economy and uplifting society and continuously inspiring a nation to achieve ever greater heights. Okay, so this is the main objective of research. But any research has the essential for four essential components. The first component is the research problem, or identifying the research problem or issue or some phenomena. Okay, And when we identify certain problem, research issue or some concern, then we go with the research question, and then we design entire research projects. Okay, once we identify the phenomena, we will see what sort of study. The next step is what sort of studies that's been conducted on this particular problem or issue. Okay, so we will try to identify the gap in the literature or lacuna in the literature. That is the second stage. And in the third stage, we will go to the field to collect the data. Then we will analyze the data, then interpret the data, and finally we report the data. We engage in writing the report. And once we write the report, we submit our dissertation, or we submit our paper for peer review, and then we will finally go for publication, and ultimately it result into dissemination of knowledge and sharing our finding with the public. So this entire process, we identify a particular idea or problem. Okay, we conceive particular idea, problem, then we conduct, we analyze, we write, and we disseminate. So this is the process in which the research is conducted. Okay, so when we conduct this research in such a process, now we entered into the era of AI. Okay, so there are many AI tools. For example, apart from ChatGPT, Gemini, there are more than thousands of AI tools that we are currently researchers are using in their academic works. Okay, so what is AI? AI is the imitation of human intelligence. Okay, so now artificial intelligence is rapidly changing the academic environment. It's bringing a lot of transformation in the research domain. How research is conceived, how research is conducted, how research is analyzed, how data is analyzed, how the research report is written, how we engage in review, and how we present our data, how we share our knowledge, how we engage in dissemination. Okay, so therefore these AI tools are useful for the discovery of literature and identifying the literature gap in the literature. Okay, coding, data analysis, translation, transcription, summarization, language editing, or brainstorming of ideas, image generation, so that we can display our research. Okay, or even the other aspects of research design. Okay. So the point is, these capabilities create a significant opportunities, and this AI becomes the vital instrument to carry research. Yet it unfolds the ethical dilemmas and moral problem. The ethical dilemmas and moral problem is, to what extent we can use the AI tool. Okay, can we rely completely on the AI tools? Okay, so because before going to this, I just want to highlight what is ethics. Okay, ethics means the moral code of conduct that to be followed. Okay, in particular domain, to see what is good and what is bad, what is good practice and what is bad practice, what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so when we use AI that challenges the established principle of academic integrity. Okay, there is issues of academic integrity, authorship, and originality of research, and there are issues in research publication ethics, accountability, intellectual property, and research validity. And there is also concern about the individual privacy, our privacy, human rights, and then the issues of data governance, and how we can carry our research in a responsible way. Okay, so these are the ethical concerns. These are the principles that create a larger umbrella principle called research integrity that need to be followed, and when they are violated, that consider as a violation of the research integrity. Okay, so traditionally when we see the unethical practices that is outlined by the UGC 2018 guidelines. Okay, so traditionally the themes were the plagiarism, fabrication, and falsification. Okay, so plagiarism means the copy of idea, in little copy of others' works. Okay, and it means the manipulation of entire research. Falsification means the wrongly presenting the data. So these practices were considered as a manipulation, or which breaks the integrity of the research. So when these practices are identified, they are subject to action by the institution. So recently, the Cambridge University professor was removed because the professor was from the Africa, and he was the first professor to be appointed in the Cambridge University. But when he wrote his PhD thesis, he just picked from the other some dissertation from other university. He copied 80% of from that other from other university dissertation, other students dissertation, other scholars dissertation, and he pasted and he submitted his thesis. Now people have discovered that, and people have expose that practice. Okay, and there are other papers that he wrote, and where he used AI, but he did not disclose how he used AI. So because of all this ground, he lost his job, he lost his reputation, and he started facing personal trauma. Okay, so this is the repercussion that we face when we break the ethical code of conduct of the research. Okay, so other complication that might result in is the rejection of our paper. Okay, if we don't properly follow ethical code of the research, then the journals might reject our papers. Okay, that we need then we should promptly and properly follow the practices. Then if there are cases where PhD students thesis are not the students are not allowed to submit their thesis because of there are more plagiarism or more fabrication or falsification issues. Okay, their dissertation I mean they involved in this all these practices, and now there are tools which can detect these things, that plagiarism and all these things. Okay, so when they get report, if that is more than the required number, then the supervisor and the institutions stops the submission of the PhD. So these are the repercussions that we face when we engage in unethical things. But then the question is, should we use AI or not? Okay, so this question should not be the central question for us. Okay, the concern for us is how to use AI without compromising integrity, accountability, originality, and social responsibility of the researcher. Okay, so this unfolds this when we think of this question, this unfolds the fundamental ethical concern. Okay, that what is ethical and what is unethical when we use AI in the research. Okay, so till 2021 we did not have any the regulatory framework, the moral framework which can govern. Okay, but AI is the recent phenomena after 2020 phenomena. Okay, so in 2021 UNESCO came with a moral regulatory framework. Okay, the ethics of AI. Okay, so which emphasized on human dignity, human right, fairness, transparency, and human oversight at the center of AI governance. So it is more specific on AI governance rather than on the research. Again, in UNESCO came in 2023 with the guidelines for the generative AI in education and research, which specifically emphasizes on privacy and the data protection, intellectual property, and institutional governance. Okay, and this is so even UNESCO provides us a sort of a moral framework at global level. Okay, how we can carry our research by using AI. Okay, then we have other guidelines, other inspiration that we draw to use AI is the publishers, the major publishers, and their AI use policies. Okay, so elsewhere, Springer, Nature, Wiley, Taylor, and Francis, they allow responsible use of AI. For instance, AI can be used for the language editing or technical checks. Okay, the second thing is this major publication bans AI authorship. Okay, so they don't provide authorship to the AI. Okay, even when the researchers are the authors, when they use AI, they're supposed to disclose what sort of tools they have used and to what extent they use, in what way they have used. So this all these publishers, they majorly uh, emphasize, or majorly they seek accountability from the authors, not from the AI tools. Okay, so now what are the ethical issues? I mean, how this AI, what is the ethical process and what is unethical process with regard to the academic integrity? Okay, so what do you mean by academic integrity? So UGC regulation 2018 clearly defines the integrity means intellectual honesty in proposing, performing, reporting activities leading to intellectual property. So this applies to students, faculty, and researcher and staffs in all the higher education institution or academic institutions. Okay, so how does this unethical practices, what are those unethical practices that breaks or that violates the academic integrity? The first one is submitting AI generated paper entirely as one's own. If a scholar, for example, if any researcher submits paper generated by AI, then it is the violation of academic integrity. Then generating literature review without checking the sources, using invented references. Okay, so you don't see in reality there are references, when researcher engages in unethical practices, okay, then
Sorry for the interruption. Your
they
PPT is not
invent
visible, sir.
the references,
Can't
the
see your
fake
PPT.
references, or the false journals, the arbitrary journals. Okay, it is in that case it also result into violation of academic integrity. Then fabricating the code. Fabricating the code is code doesn't exist, but you code them. For example, Einstein, during Einstein's time, okay, Einstein would have not said anything about generative AI, but you can see on internet and social media there are a lot of quotes that is cited. I mean that is sources. I mean that could be seen from the Einstein. Okay, that is as said by the Einstein, but which is not the reality. It is completely fabricated quote. Okay, then again generating or manipulating false empirical findings. Okay, so if there are manipulated false empirical finding, if researcher engages in providing false empirical findings, he manipulates or he fabricates the finding, then it is also violation of academic integrity. And again similarly the use of AI to manipulate statistical results. Okay, so as for your
Sir,
convenience,
sorry for the interruption. Your
yes
PPT
sir.
is not visible, sir. We can't see your PPT.
Okay, I think now can you see, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you,
visible.
sir.
Sir, actually, you can interrupt me or you can say me whenever there is an issue, because I can't see your faces. I am just seeing my PPTs. So I am missing that interaction and that communication. Hello?
Sir,
Sir,
sir, there is a issue when you are looking at your PPT. We are not able to get back to that, sir. As I
yeah, I'm not
suggested,
able to see
please
you
go to
even.
share and go to window option, sir. You are sharing your entire screen probably. That is why we are not able to see your screen once you go to this. Go to window and choose your PPT which is visible there, sir.
Yeah, I'm choosing that one only, ma'am, but still it is not showing.
Or if you don't mind, could you please share the PPT with me, sir? I'll run it through for you.
Okay, sure, ma'am. So can I mail you
Now
now?
it is visible, sir. Once you go to the full screen mode,
Hmm.
please try full screen, sir.
Okay. Now? Can you see, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so should I share?
Sir, you go to share option.
Yeah, I am.
Once you click share option, you'll get Chrome tab, window and entire screen. Please choose window, sir.
Okay, window. I am choosing same window, ma'am.
When you choose window, please click on that PPT which is open.
Okay, there is some issue.
Or you share entire screen only, sir. You share entire screen. Let's try that option only.
Okay, okay. Now? Is it visible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
You
Now
please.
it's visible.
Okay, so till now it was not visible.
No, sir.
Okay, let me recap. Just I was discussing about what is research. So here I said it is about discovering the truth and reality. Then I discussed the essential component of the research and stages of research. So we identify the problem, then we engage to see some problem or issue. Okay, and then we go for related literature, then data collection, data analysis, and writing the report, and then finally we go for publication and dissemination of finding. So when we engage in entire process, so we conceive certain idea or problem, then we conduct research, then analyze, then write a report, or and then engage in dissemination of knowledge. Okay, so first initially I try to define the research, what is research, okay, and stages of research. Okay, that's been traditionally we have been doing that. Now since we entered into AI era, okay, so how this AI is shaping our research domain. Okay, so now we have more than 1,000 AI tools that is being used in research to conceive the when we identify problem, we can identify problem through AI, or conceive research problem through AI. We can conduct our research through AI. We can analyze, write, review, disseminate all these things through AI. Okay, so further we can we engage in data analysis, coding, all these things that I have discussed. Okay, then once we are into the era of AI, so is it ethical to use AI, to rely completely on AI? That's was the central question for me. Okay, so initially the traditionally or conventionally we have considered the plagiarism, fabrication, and falsification as a unethical practices which breaks the academic integrity. Okay, so I have cited one professor who engaged in the copy pasting practice, plagiarism practice, was removed from the Cambridge University, and similar practice may result into rejection of the research paper if we engage in copy paste or plagiarism. Okay, and halting of thesis or report. Okay, so is it visible, ma'am, slides?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so then
Yes, sir.
then my central question is, when we are using when we are using and there is a complexity, to what extent we can use, we can face the penalties, we can be penalized. So the ethical and the ethical dilemma here is, to what extent we can use. Should we use, or should we not use? Okay, so then I said here that we can use our concern should be to what extent we can use AI without compromising the integrity, accountability, originality, and social responsibility of the researchers. Okay, so the central focus of this lecture is the ethical and unethical use of AI in academic research. So prior to this 2021, we did not have any the moral regulatory framework to govern AI use in the research. But in 2021, UNESCO came with with a recommendation on the ethics of AI use. Okay, so the UNESCO emphasized more on human rights, dignity, fairness, transparency, and oversight in AI governance. Okay, or use of AI. So again, in 2023, this was for general AI use for all the fields. But UNESCO again in 2023 came with a guidelines for the generative AI in education and research, where it emphasized more on the data, the consent, the data, the privacy, and the intellectual property and institutional governance. Okay, and that UNESCO's guidelines serves as a moral framework. Okay, it provides us the ethic, it outlines the ethical values, to what extent we can use the AI. And again other source of AI, ethical source for AI, or ethical use of AI, we can draw from the major publisher houses such as Elsewhere, Springer, Nature, Wiley, Tyler and Francis. So the global level publishers, they outline the ethical use of AI. So they allow for language editing, grammatical check, or technical checks, or technical assistance, but they don't provide any authorship to the AI. they completely say, they completely uh, the publisher says that, you know, entire accountability is remains with the author, the human author, okay, not with the AI. Then I focused on, you know, academic integrity, how AI can through AI we can make I mean, through AI we can maintain academic integrity, and what are the practices that's become unethical, okay, while using the AI. So first, UGC regulation 2008, drawing from that, we can say that, you know, the intellectual honesty is proposing, performing, and reporting activities leading to the intellectual property. Uh, so the academic integrity applies to the student, faculty, researchers, and other those who are engaging in academic exercises. So, what are the unethical practices? The unethical practices include submitting AI generated papers. If a researcher submits the paper entirely written by AI, then it is unethical practice. It breaks it violates the academic integrity. Then, similarly, literature, similarly, invented references. If so, for example, when AI assembles all the data from various sources and it provides the result, it provides the outcome, okay, but in the algorithm, in when it AI when AI collects all the data, it doesn't proper, sometimes it makes the mistakes, it manipulates, it provides a different sort of interpret, I mean, different sort of source. It could be invented by AI itself, okay. So therefore there is a problem again. Fabrication of quote, I told earlier, you know, about Einstein's quote. And so these are the practices which violates the academic integrity. Then we also see the problem of AI hallucination and research reliability. So hallucination means the fictitious reality, the production of a plausible but a false information. So AI can give us the journal article, which the journal doesn't exist, or it can provide us incorrected DOI number. Means the digital object identifier number. So every research scholar is supposed to have a one this DOI number, unique number, 10-digit unique number, okay, to authorize their research and to keep the originality with them. Okay, even these link changes, okay, with the DOI number, we can see the original source of the article, okay. So but with the AI, the DOI number can be changed. It can create fictitious author, and it can provide inaccurate quotations, okay. And it can also create the invented archives for the historical research or for the historical sources when we look, okay. It can also state the incorrect statistics. It can also engage in false historical claim making process. So therefore these are the hallucination when I mean, these are the false data that AI can provide to us, the AI can make up for us, which we may not realize without really verifying the original source. So when we conduct research, when we take something from the AI, when we use AI tool, it is a responsibility lies on the researcher to verify against those original sources. Okay, we should not believe them in a literal sense when whatever we take, okay. Then AI and plagiarism, okay. So UGC framework 2018 clearly defines what is plagiarism. Plagiarism, there are various ways in which plagiarism takes place. First one is direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism means direct copy paste, okay, copying other ideas. So how do so direct copies traditionally prior to AI use, we used to copy, I mean, the scholars used to copy from the other books or papers. But after AI, now AI will copy, AI will gather the source from gather the data or the text or phrases from various sources, and it will provide us a, provide a complete draft, okay. So that might result into that would result into copy paste, okay. So AI mediated plagiarism engage, so first one is the AI mediated plagiarism. So what AI does is it paraphrases someone else's argument without attributing from which source it has taken or who is the author, without citing them properly, without acknowledging the other's work. Okay. The next thing AI does is it also engages in the text plagiarism. It just copies the text, it generates a text. Okay. So without disclosing which from where it has taken, from which publisher it has taken. Okay. So all these things require, all these things need to be stated when we are submitting a paper or research work to for an institution or for a publisher. Then idea plagiarism. AI also engages in plagiarizing the ideas. For example, if we submit our PhD thesis to, and the PhD dissertation is stored at Srodh-Ganga. Okay, so Srodh-Ganga is open access to everyone. It's in public domain, and AI can all AI tools can access that. Okay, but we have not published our dissertation. So what AI does, AI will copy that ideas. Okay, that plagiarizes those ideas, and it can give answer to the people who are giving those prompt or who are seeking for those sort of information and research. So this is a blunt copy of ideas. This is a blunt plagiarism. Okay. So then AI and falsification and fabrication and falsification. Okay. So traditionally, this fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism were the core concern of research, considered as a misconduct of the research misconduct. Okay, so fabrication means the making of data or result. Falsification means the manipulating research process or outcomes. Okay, as per our as we desire the outcomes. So AI increases the risk because the researcher can now generate a synthetic data set or artificial survey responses, fake interview transcripts, fabricated quotes, manipulated images, artificial experimental results. Okay, so these are the way in which AI can violate or AI can engage in fabrication and falsification. But there are some ethical through ethical ways and means we can use AI when AI does not because we should believe that AI does not manufacture empirical evidences. Okay, which is real. Okay, AI doesn't have any real data. It is data given by someone else or data that is uploaded in the public domain by someone else, and AI is working on those data. So we should clearly know that we are using someone else's data, so we need to acknowledge the data. Okay, when AI presents the synthetic data, we should also, or we are using synthetic data for our research. We should also acknowledge what is the source of our data. Okay, and how we are changing data as per our research needs and requirement, in what ways. So whenever we are sending for publications or whenever we are using for our thesis writing or any academic writing, we should disclose in what way we are using, to what extent we are using, how we are changing the nature of data. Okay, so all this responsibility lies on the researcher. Okay, and what AI tools that we are using. Okay, so then the next concern or next ethical concern is authorship. Can AI be an author? A simple answer is no. AI cannot be author because, as I told, the UNESCO guidelines, okay, on chart, the AI and the generative AI says that the AI cannot be the author. AI is just instrument. Okay, it is the humans who should be made as a responsible, who should be made as a accountable. Okay, so a human author can be the capable of accepting responsibility, defending their research, responding to allegation of misconduct, or approving the final manuscript, or explaining methodology, ensuring data integrity and research integrity. So this all these activities can be carried only by the humans, not by the AI. AI cannot accept the responsibility of misconduct or the fabrication or the falsification. Okay, so therefore it is now accepted norm or accepted ethics that AI cannot be author, but only humans can be the author. Okay, so then next ethical practice is disclosure and transparency. If AI materially contributed to if AI contributes for research or publication, the use should be transparently disclosed, where disclosed to the journal or institution. Okay, if we are using some material from the AI, we should we should clearly state that we are what sort of data we are using, and why we are using, what is the purpose of data, and what is the source of data. Okay, so we need to mention in the sources. Okay, so AI use whatever AI assisted technologies that we are using for preparing the manuscript. Okay, so for example, for literature part, we can use the bibliometric tools. Okay, to identify uh, uh, which area is having more traction among the researchers, which area is becoming more popular. So where we can conduct research. Okay, or what are the dominant literature on there? Literature is there. Okay, and I mean the dominantly cited papers or research work. Okay, all this we can find by using the bibliometric tools. Okay, and so whatever tools that we are using, we need to say that how we identify use this bibliometric tool. Again, then we will be using the other AI tools such as Quillbolt, Grammarly, Gingerly for checking our grammars or for paraphrasing. Okay, so when we use these tools, we need to state that what to what extent we have used, and how we used, and what are these tools that we have used. Okay, uh, then AI and confidentiality. The most important ethical issue for the researcher is the maintaining the confidentiality. Okay, so researcher should maintain the confidentiality of the data, the confidentiality of the respondent. Okay, so the unethical practices that can unfold when we use the AI is when we use unpublished manuscript. Okay, so if unpublished manuscript is there in the public domain, if AI uses that and gives us answer, then it's a violation of the research ethics. Okay, or interview transcripts. Okay, so interview transcript need to be kept in the private. Okay, so that the so interview transcript need to be with us, not in the public domain. Okay, when we use, we need to use in certain through codes, through some models. Okay, so through which we can maintain certain privacy. Okay, and we also need to as I told earlier, the participant information, the grants proposal. Okay, then peer review reports, thesis chapter, all these things need to I mean, as a researcher, we need to maintain confidently. There's a certain confidentiality thing should confidentiality should be maintained. Okay, then privacy and personal data. As I told that AI assisted research can involve in sensitive information such as names, email address, health records, interview transcript, student records, political opinions, bibliometric information, institutional record, identifiable research participant. So all this data, all these things are our personal information, our personal data. Okay, so this privacy should be the primary concern of the primary privacy should be the primary concern of a research. Okay, when he uses the data. Okay, it cannot be disclosed in the public, it cannot be revealed in the public, it cannot be kept in the public domain. Okay, which violates the fundamental concerns of the research. As I told, UNESCO's 2013 give primacy to the privacy and human rights. Okay, and the consent. Okay, so therefore, when we take consent, and when we take consent that we will keep the privacy of the respondents' information, we should maintain in them in the private domain, not in the public domain. Okay, so what are the good practices through through AI, or we can practice. Okay, so one thing is the remove unnecessary identifiers. Okay, so when we use data, okay, we can remove the personalized names, or personalized addresses, or personalized data. Okay, or we can give them codes, or some sort of different mechanism that we can apply. Okay, or when we need to so for example, if we are conducting research on particular qualitative research, and we want to cite particular respondents information or his quote. Okay, and we want to say who is saying this, then you can use the synonyms or pseudonyms. Okay, so we need to engage in pseudonymization of data. Okay, Then we also need to check the tools that the data retention policy. Okay, then check whether inputs may be used for model training. Obtain require participants prior information consent. This is the primary concern. Okay, so moving to the next, the biases and discrimination. Recently, a Delhi University professor, and he is famous for teaching UPSC students, he said that AI generating a discriminatory data. AI can be used as a tool for generating discrimination and bias toward certain groups or certain social groups. Okay, and it can be weapon for certain social groups. Okay, so AI system are not, therefore AI system are not neutral as said by the UNESCO. Okay, so AI system can reproduce or reinforce existing biases. Okay, and these biases may enter through the training of data, the data entry process, training of data, data selection, data labeling, the way in which the algorithm is designed. Okay, and how that the model's architecture is built. Okay, and what sort of prompt that we are giving, and what language we are using. Okay, and the cultural assumptions, and prejudices that we have. Then as a research, when researchers carry the prejudices, okay, this all might become a potentially dangerous with when we employ through AI. Okay, so especially for example, when we carry research on the sensitive issues such as caste, gender, ethnicity, religion, disability, poverty, political behavior, minorities, indigenous communities, or global south population, we need, as a researcher, we need to be sensitive. We need to employ our moral faculties, and we need to be more mature when dealing with these issues. Okay, so we need to so therefore when we use AI, we need to see how and whose knowledge is represented. This is the central concern, and whose knowledge is missing. Okay, and the cultural and linguistic biases. Similarly, as I told earlier, that AI system may disproportionately represent particular culture or particular dominant group. So for example, all these AI tools are shaped in the Western world, where English is a dominant language, and the English language scholarship is very predominant in the scholarly world. Okay, and the so therefore this Western theoretical formulation or Western epistemological models, or epistemological Western tools and techniques that prepared based on the assumption of the Western culture. Okay, that creates some sort of bias, that becomes the source of the digitized knowledge. Okay, and so therefore what happens, the AI assisted literature review may unintentionally marginalize the third world countries, or particularly or for example the Indian language scholarship, or regional publication, or local archives, or oral histories, or indigenous knowledge, or Western theoretical traditions. Okay, so therefore our primary concern should be AI should not supplement uh, are not AI should supplement, not replace primary engagement with Indian regional scholarship. So AI should supplement but not replace the knowledge that we have, our indigenous knowledge that we have. Okay. So AI should not be act as a displacer. AI should not act as a eraser. Okay, and imposing certain Western knowledge. But AI should be used in a such a way it can act as a facilitator for all the regional languages and regional concerns or indigenous knowledge. And as we know, our NEP focuses on indigenous knowledge. Then concerning to the intellectual property and copyright, okay, this is a major issue when we use the AI for research purpose, because AI doesn't acknowledge. Hello, AI accumulates whatever available data or whatever available material. Okay, so sometimes it misses from where it is taking, who is the source. Then it result into conflict over the intellectual property and copyright. Okay, so AI can generate image, data set, software, or it can use unpublished manuscript. Okay, so this result into the original author's rights violation. his copyrights violation, the intellectual property rights violation. So when we use AI, we should distinguish between when we use AI as to assist when we use AI in our research, we should distinguish between what is our own contribution and how we take help of the AI, okay, while acknowledging the others' contribution. Okay, okay. So therefore, this ethical code of conduct we need to follow when we use the material that available in the public domain by using the AI. Okay. Then the other concern is identification of research problem and AI. So when the starting point, okay, for any researcher is to identify the research problem or research issue. So what should guide is, should we type just on AI or should we have our own motivation? Okay, so our motivation, our influence should be that human curiosity and critical quest. Okay, that should be the primary concern. And then the other primary concern is, we as a researcher, we have a social responsibility to address the social problem and issues. Okay, and that should be the guiding factor in conducting a research or taking up a research problem. And the one more inspiration we can draw is from the literature gap. Okay, so when we don't if we are not motivated by this, but we want to conduct some research just for conducting research by using AI, then it also result into violation of ethical code of conduct of the research. Okay, this is also unethical practice at the initial stage itself. Then in literature, we can use the AI for identifying the literature through keywords. Okay, so organizing the literature and discovering potentially relevant papers. Okay, summarizing the articles. Okay, so for all these things, we can use AI, and there are other sites like Google Scholar, Academia, ResearchGate, just or One Nation, One Subscription. Sometimes what happens when we search in the AI, or we look for summaries of particular articles, okay, in the relevant field for literature review. Okay, so the AI can manipulate, AI can fabricate, AI can bring a falsified data. Okay, so we need to verify them by searching in this search engines, for example, Google Scholar, Academia, ResearchGate, JSTOR, One Nation, One Subscription. Okay, and that's how we can engage in the ethical and unethical practices here. We can engage in ethical practice and avoid unethical practices. And AI and data analysis. AI can be used in the data analysis for for coding, for statistical programming, data cleaning, visualization, quality coding, thematic analysis, computational text analysis. Okay, but however, when we use AI for data analysis, we should document which AI we are using, which tool we are using, and how we are using, how we are coding the data. Okay, and how and what software and what particular prompt we are using to visualize the data. Okay, so these are the ethical concerns that we can say, and and how we analyze the data. uh, all these things need to be highlighted when we write the report, when we submit our paper, our draft for the publication process. Okay, now how do we see the ethical practice in a peer review process? Okay, so some of us may be acting as a peer review reviewer for particular some journals. Okay, so when we receive papers, we should not take the help of AI, saying that summarize this paper and identify its weakness. Okay, it violates the very basic ethics of the research. Okay, so when we give this prompt and when we upload the paper, so that paper is stored in the AI system. Okay, and which can result into violation of confidentiality, intellectual property right, reviewers obligations, authors expectation, and publication ethics. Therefore, when we act reviewer, we should thoroughly read the paper and give our own original contribution rather than taking the help of AI. Okay, so we should avoid the AI use when we act as a reviewers. So what are the UGC guidelines? Okay, UGC norms that researchers should pay attention. Okay, so academic integrity regulation, and then research and publication ethics, that document is there. Okay, so that edited volume where the many academicians have contributed to the document. And then we UGC brought a framework, including which includes the institutional mechanism or institutional responsibility, such as, at every institution, in every institutional level, you can have a departmental academic integrity panels, institutional academic integrity panels, and all the universities and institutions are following this plagiarism check practice. Okay, this is a process. This is a compulsory process to submit thesis. Okay, or if there are any complaints on the plagiarism, falsification, and the fabrication, then institution may constitute the investigation committee. Okay, and then institution also can decide their own norms for graded response to the plagiarism. To what extent plagiarism can be allowed, to 5% or 10% or beyond that. Okay, that is completely lies with the institution. The originality and related declaration certification. So now UGC made mandatory that, whatever research we submit for institution, okay, so we need to declare that, this is the original research carried by the researcher, carried by me. Okay, so that declaration and certificate is an essential process to get the degrees. Okay, yet we don't have any larger AI specific regulatory framework or ethical framework which governs entire India, though we are following uh, ethical practices that are completely institution centric. Okay, so for example UGC, for example ICSR, or the university centric or IIT centric, but we don't have a larger framework which governs the AI use in research. Okay, and then AI detection is not a substitute for academic integrity. So for example there are softwares that detects AI. So we have softwares like what I mean for plagiarism checks, and sometimes the researcher, that work might be the original work of the researcher, but sometimes given the store data in those software, okay, it might show the plagiarism. Okay. So in this process the institution has a responsibility to check the drafts, notes, the version of history or references through how the references has been cited. Okay, and oral explanation from the researcher, and we should give a opportunity to the researcher to respond to the all the allegations, and what sort of data he brought, he's using, and what sort of methodology he is following. Okay, so all this can be considered. Okay, in order to see the academic integrity. Okay, so we cannot completely rely on the AI detecting tools. Okay, so we need to see the original contribution of the researcher. So again, when we see this AI and reproducibility. So if same topic, if you are searching on AI for multiple times with the same prompts or different prompts, the AI will give different results by different times. Okay, so we cannot verify. Okay, so therefore this is an ethical concern we should keep in mind. And when we rely too much on AI, that might result into, you know uh, the human-led inquiry, that might hamper, that might damage our questioning ability, critical thinking, critical reasoning, abilities of interpreting data, or conceptualization of the reality or the truth, or conceptualization of empirical evidences, or making a moral or ethical judgment. And it might hamper our creativity, and it might also damage our theoretical reflection. Okay, so if we become lethargic and we start depending on AI, then these are the problems that create, and these are the essential requirement for any researcher to carry the research. Okay, so when these things when this when we lack the ability of critical reasoning and creativity and theoretical reflection, okay, so we cannot unpack the truth, we cannot unpack the reality as a researcher, we cannot carry our social responsibility. Okay, so therefore as UNESCO's the guidelines emphasizes on human centric approach and human agency. So the researcher responsibility here is the accuracy, originality in research, integrity, and attribution. Attribution is proper citation, and the privacy concern about the respondent, and the proper methodology, and the right conclusion. Okay, So therefore, we need to realize here that AI can make a mistake. AI can make a mistake, and we need to carry in the mind. But we should not say that it is a mistake of AI, but it is completely the researcher's responsibility. And then it's also about AI. AI can also help in building the digital divide. Okay, now AI can be available for very highly sophisticated, educated people, but there are a lot of people who are not able to use AI. So we need to so AI can be used ethically. So as I've been telling, the AI can be used ethically, and it some practices may be considered as unethical. But we are living in an AI era. So the universities are, the universities and research institution should focus on the bridging the digital divide in AI use. So for this, they can undertake certain programs such as, awareness program, AI literacy program, research integrity training, data protection training, public ethics training. Okay, so where they can give training to the researchers or the students, okay, about AI use and about AI ethical practices and unethical practices. Okay, and the final one, I think I have crossed time 5 minutes late. Okay, so the practical ethical framework for researchers that it can be considered given as a respect. Respect mean R mean responsibility. So the researchers carry the responsibility. E means explainability. Okay, so how AI is used should be explained. And the source, yes means source verification. Okay, we need to verify all the sources. P means privacy. Okay, so privacy never should be exposed, that should be kept confidential. E mean equity consider. Equity consider means we should avoid biases and unequal access. C mean copyright and confidentiality. Respect mean we should respect the intellectual property and publication rights or the author's right. T means transparency. Transparency means we should disclose what AI tools that we are using. So here I have mentioned the ethical dimensions and the values or the practices to maintain. The principal concerns and and responsible ways in which we can carry the research. Okay, so I would like to conclude here that human can create AI and make advance in algorithms, but AI cannot create humans. That means AI may assist researcher, but or to carry our research, but it must not replace researcher's responsibility and his abilities. AI you should be within the ethical framework and not the beyond the ethical framework of research. AI use in research should serve the research integrity and researcher's social responsibility. So I have used all these references for preparing this presentation, and thank you. And now I open for observation and questions. Thank you very much. Hello. If there are any comments, observations, or questions, you may reflect, you may ask.
Dear participants, please kindly raise the questions if you have any doubts regarding the presentation.
Very good. Very good. Interesting questions here. Hey, good afternoon. Is anyone having any questions with regards to the artificial intelligence? Please raise questions to sir.
So there is one question: how to use AI in research? Okay, I think the entire presentation was on that. Hello, ma'am. Can I respond?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so traditionally, when we used to carry research, okay. So prior to the invention of AI, we follow the traditional model. So first thing, AI can be used at all stages of research. Okay. So from first initially to identification of the research topic. Okay. So research topic mean, for example, how do we identify research topic? So we can take the assistance of AI. Okay, there are certain AI tools where you can go and search. Uh, I mean, there are certain tools which can uh, specify us where, which area is having more attraction, which more area is more popular. Okay, so through that we can use AI. Second one is we can use for literature part. Okay, so for literature summary. Okay, for gathering the literature. Okay, and uh, and then citing the literature, preparing bibliography, references, all this. For all these things we can use AI. Third thing is we can use for data, gathering data, or or interpreting the data, or data analysis. We can use various tools and methods, tools and software for data analysis. Okay, so where we can use AI. And fourth thing, we can also use for data representation. Okay, so how do we represent? Through graphs, through maps, through visuals, through images. Okay, for all these things we can use AI to present the data. Okay, but we should be careful enough that that we don't violate the norms or ethics of the research, the integrity of the research. Okay, the first ethical research is, as I told you, the the plagiarism. Okay, so when we take the AI support, we should be careful enough to we should be careful, and we should acknowledge that what sort of tools and software that we are using. Okay, and what is the source of our data, from where we are drawing. Okay, and how we are analyzing, by what tools we are, by employing what tools we are analyzing the data. All these things should be clearly stated when we use this I mean, when we use the AI in our data analysis and data representation.
Excuse me, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a wonderful presentation, and I have one question regarding this. What are the appropriate way to disclose the use of AI tools in a research paper? How we can acknowledge its use?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
So, for example, if you are, yes, yes, your concern is, if I am rightly understood, your question is where do we disclose AI? If you use AI tool, where can we disclose in such paper?
Yeah.
Ma'am, could you please repeat your question?
Yes, sir. Can you please elaborate on the appropriate ways to disclose the use of AI tools in a research paper, and how could we acknowledge its use?
Uh, Madam, for example, ma'am, if you are writing a paper, okay, so there are uh, let me say, if we are using for the grammatical correction. Okay, you have drafted a paper, and you think that you need to take we think that we need to take the help of the AI in checking the grammar or spellings. Okay, so you're using Quillbolt or Grammarly, whatever. So there, once we use that and we correct our draft. Okay, the draft should be our original, not AI generated, but we are using for making it properly. Okay, so therefore here comes AI. Okay, not the original one, not the primary one. Okay, for shaping, for making up, for giving a finishing touch, we can use the AI tools. And in the paper we need to say, if we are submitting PhD thesis, in the certification process we should state that we have used this data, we have used this tool for checking the grammars, checking the sentences, or for grammatical corrections. Okay, so similarly, when we submit paper for, let's say, Routledge journals or Sage journal, in the end there is a acknowledgement and the use of AI headline, uh, heading. Okay, so under that you need to specify, okay, that I have used this so and so AI. Okay,
Okay,
is
sir.
it
Thank you.
clear, ma'am?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, are there any questions, any query?
Any other participant has any questions? Is there any further questions? Then you can post it in the chat box. We will just inform sir to answer your questions. So good afternoon to everyone present here. It is my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of the third day first session, 5 days national level virtual FDP program on the theme Research Renaissance Navigating Ethics, Technology and Methodology in Contemporary Scholarship. On behalf of Dr. S. Gopal Raju, Government First Grade College Anekal and Government First Grade College Bangaru Tirupati, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to the successful organization of this FDP. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to our resource person, Professor Jadhav Pratap Singh, Central University, South Bihar, for sharing his valuable knowledge, expertise on the topic artificial intelligence and ethical concern in academic research. For his scholarly contribution have certainly enriched our understanding and inspired us to pursue responsible and innovative research. I would like to place on record our sincere thanks to the Government of Karnataka Department of Collegiate Education for its constant support and encouragement towards academic excellence and research development. My special thanks to Principal of Dr. S. Gopal Raju Government First Grade College, Anekal, and Principal of Government First Grade College, Bangaru Tirupati, for their guidance, encouragement, and support in organizing this valuable program. I also sincerely thanks the FDP coordinators, organizing committee members, and technical team for dedicated efforts in planning and executing this program smoothly through the virtual platform on the third day session. A special word of appreciation goes to all the faculty members, research scholars, and participants who joined this FDP with enthusiasm and actively engaged in the session. Your participation has truly added values to this academic initiative. Finally, I thank everyone who worked directly or indirectly behind the scene to make this 5 day program a meaningful and successful academic event. With all these words, I once again extend my heartfelt thanks to one and all. Thank you. Have a great day. And I request to read back the session in 5 minutes break. Please do join the session in 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Dr. Padmavati, ma'am, we are sharing
yes,
the
sir.
screen. We are sharing
Sure,
the
sir.
screen. Can you check it, ma'am, once?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'll just check whether I'm able to share my screen. 1 minute.
Yes.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And am I also audible to you? My voice is okay?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Padmavati ma'am,
Yes, sir. Good evening.
shall we start the session, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
You want me to switch on the video or not? It's not required.
Yeah, you can switch on your video, ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. The second half of the third day national level virtual FDP program is being hosted by Government First Grade College, Bangalore, Tirupati. We are delighted to have you all with us for the second session of the third day FDP program. Now I request Dr. Elumalai, Professor of Economics, Government First Grade College, Bangalore, Tirupati, to welcome and introduce the resource person of this session.
Good afternoon, everyone. National level virtual 5-day faculty development program on research, Renaissance, navigating ethics, technology, and methodology in contemporary scholarship. Respected principals of both the colleges, esteemed resource person, respected faculty members, and dear participants, a very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. G. Elumalai, IQAC Coordinator and Professor of Economics. Feel greatly privileged to welcome all of you to Day 3, Section 2 of the National Level Virtual 5-Day Faculty Development Program organized by Dr. S. Gopalraju Government First Grade College, Anekal, Bangalore, in collaboration with Government First Grade College of Bangalore, Tirupati, Kola District. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished resource person for today's section, Dr. Padmavati, PA, Associate Professor of Commerce, Ahila School of Management, Palakkad. Dr. Padmavati brings a unique blend of more than 12 years of industry experience at ICICI Bank and over 9.5 years of academic experience. She holds a PhD in management from Bharatiya University and she is a SET qualified person. She is a prolific and creative researcher with 16 Scopus Index publications and 30 UGC CAT papers and 10 books, 3 patents, and 43 Google Scholars citations. She also serves as an AECT expert, IAC Innovation Ambassador, and a Nodal Officer, and has been International Resource Person at UATM, Malaysia. She is also a recipient of the NPTEL Discipline Star Award. Today, she will be speaking on the topic Research in the Age of Intelligent Technologies. With her expertise in artificial intelligence, data analytics, banking and research methodology, I am confident that this section will provide us with valuable insights and practical perspectives that are closely aligned with the theme of our FDP. On behalf of the organizers of Dr. S. Gopal Raju, Government First Grade College, Anekal, Bangalore, and Government First Grade College, Bangalore, Tirupati, on behalf of the faculty members of both the institutions and on behalf of all the participants joining the section from across India, I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to Dr. Padmavati P.A. Madam. Madam, the virtual platform is now yours. We look forward to an enlightening and engaging section. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. On behalf of Dr. Gopal Raju, Government First Grade College, Bangalore and Tirupati, I hereby thank you all for organizing such a wonderful virtual FDP on the theme of research, navigating technology and contemporary issues. Yes, we all know that nowadays research plays a very vital role in the rapid advancement of many technologies. So let me today go through you all a session which tells you that how the intelligent technologies can transform knowledge creation, scientific discovery, and innovation in the era of artificial intelligence. 2 minutes, let me share the PowerPoint with you. Is the screen visible to you all? Sir?
Madam, yes.
Thank you, sir. So now we all know that research is in the age of intelligent technologies. It tries to transform knowledge creation, scientific discovery, innovation in the era of artificial intelligence. Now we talk about artificial intelligence, what we all say, we all think about machine learning, deep learning, Gen AI, and then LLMs. LLMs, we all know that it is large language models. Earlier, we were talking about IoTs, Internet of Things, and then we moved on to blockchain. And then now we have jumped into robotics, quantum computing, and so on. What are these doing in the area of education? When we all see that earlier we have been drafting letters, we used to use the Grammarly for checking a grammar. Nowadays, nobody is using Grammarly. Everybody has to turn to the generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and then Copilot, Perplexity, uh, ScienceSpace, Elicit, and so on. What are these doing? These are actually, they are scholarly tools, AI tools, which like to improve our efficiency in the workflow, and it enables the researchers to focus on creativity and critical thinking rather than doing repetitive things. So all these AI tools have reduced repetitive tasks. So what they are doing in this 21st century? In 21st century, we are actually witnessing an unprecedented technological revolution which only tried to emerge all these new intelligent technologies which we named earlier. So what are these doing now? These are primarily focusing on reducing manual experimentation. They are trying to reducing handwritten records, as well as they are turning the scientific research into technology oriented research. When we are doing a PhDs, we were only what to say, we were dependent on SPSS software packages. Now SPSS is no more, it has become a very basic tool. Everybody have moved on from SPSS to further next level technology levels. So this you say as an integration of intelligent automation into experimental research. Earlier, what we were doing, we are actually going through so many review of literature, looking on into journals, magazines, searching books, libraries. We were checking the previous pieces. All those are now dropped. There has been a good transformation. There has been an advanced what to say, large language models that you say as LLM. They have actually transformed all these hypotheses, data sets, everything into visualization. What is visualization? What is data visualization? So what we see in the charts, what we see in the graphs, all you say as data visualization. This modern research have now characterized into four main features. What are those? Data intensive research. What do you mean by data intensive research? As I said, we have millions of articles published across the world annually. That may appear in thousands of journals. We need to go through all those reviews. We need to search for the citations and all those. Now, what this intelligent technologies have does, we are using AI powered platform. What they do, they are able to identify the research trend in whatever theme we are doing. It is able to diagnose and tell what is the emerging theme in that topic which you have chosen. And also, it would even recommend us the unexplored research opportunities that we say as a research gap. So all these are done in data intensive research. Then you talk about AI assisted decision making. So what do you mean by decision making? So when you come across many reviews, we need to, it is difficult for us to choose or find where is the lacuna, where is the gap, which experiment is halfway through, where we need to do a further research. All these questions come in our mind. So what we do here, we take the help of AI. What AI does, it actually for in the area of experimental research, it gives good decision making. Though we are doing empirical research, in experimental research in biology or chemistry, where we have got labs, we need to check in the labs what is X, what is Y. Suppose they need to do some drug discovery, they need to do some scientist or have what to say, they need to do more human intervention is required in the laboratories. Now, these laboratories are being powered by robotics. What the robotics do, they are replacing human. They are conducting AI robots are conducting the experiments continuously, and they are giving the research with respect to any drug discovery or any other treatment or any other complex medical imaging data which we required. Even in space, if you could see, earlier we had only telescopes. Now AI robotics is able to even identify unusual cosmic phenomena, which is not even we are able to predict what it could be. That is being revealed with the help of AI. And also climate changes. Whatever climate changes, what we predict, now people are using machine learning models, which help them to even evaluate the climate change scenarios. That you say as AI assisted decision making. Interdisciplinary collaboration. What do you mean by interdisciplinary? In any two major sectors or areas together, they collaborate, you say interdiscipline. For example, business and management research, commerce and management, all comes under interdiscipline. In management, if you could see finance and marketing together, customer behavior modeling, financial forecasting, sentiment analysis, which we are doing now, predictive analytics, all these are relying only on AI driven methodologies. What they do here, researchers analyze millions of customer views from social media interaction, from financial transactions, from operational records, and try to produce the insights. If everybody are now using Amazon, Flipkart, and so on. So what we do here, there, if you could see, we have got many recommendations from the browsing history, what we do. The AI is able to read our mind. It is able to read our heart. That you say as, suppose some to browse many apps, some instincts makes us feeling to buy it. That you say as a new concept called digital dopamine, which actually induces the consumers to buy. So all these areas are touched by AI research, which humans feel difficult to do so. Next, continuous digital innovation. What is continuous digital innovation? When people start doing research, what they do, they keep raising questions again and again. What further research they can do in this area? If every time one researcher tries to compete the other researcher, in which way is that whichever is the lacuna left by the earlier researcher or untouched area, the other researcher tries to focus on that. That you say as continuous digital learning. So this continuous digital learning can now be done using AI systems. What they do, we have got many AIs now, namely as responsible AI, explainable AI, human-centered AI, open science AI. All these are the principles in the intelligent technology. What they do, they actually ensure that every untouched area is being given importance. It tries to create concerns regarding the data privacy, intellectual property. We all know that in IPR, what is that? Patent, copyrights, trademark, geographical indication, all those, all those are being used say as scientific resources. So this AI has an algorithmic base which helps in doing significant and ethical societal concerns, and they bring out an unbiased output. So that which is the output which is can be more appropriate than the human. So we conclude that modern research has characterized as data-intensive research, AI-assisted decision-making, interdisciplinary collaboration, and continuous digital innovation. So what these contribute to? These contribute to a term called Research 5.0. So Research 5.0 is a collaboration of all these four features, which actually in turn relates to human creativity, ethical judgment, domain expertise, and critical reasoning. So now let's see how the research evolved in digital area. In digital era, we all know that research has evolved through many key characteristics, which always transforms the researchers to acquire knowledge, conduct experiments, analyze data, and disseminate findings. So what they do with this, they try to bring out a collaborative, data-driven, and AI-assisted ecosystem. So what this AI-assisted ecosystem does, that actually has transformed traditional research to the modern research. So what they did in the traditional research, as I said earlier, we all had manual observation, we did experimentation, we did documentation, we had small scale data sets, we had more time consuming statistical tools which we need to check whether chi-star is okay, whether regression is okay, or either t-test has to be done. So we as a researcher need to do all these and then find out which test was rightly applicable. So that was very much time consuming, and also it took time for us to come out with the scientific findings. So this all led to a slower research cycle. So traditional research led to slower research cycle, and also it had high operational costs. So what happened to the digital transformation of research? Digital transformation of research is what we are doing. We started with the SPSS, then we went to SAS, and later we went to R programming. So what are the milestones this recent research have made? It has transformed the research by providing instant access to journals, databases, and digital libraries. We all remember the days we used to check in the system, or what are the research gap, what are the research questions that can be found out, research problem, research statement identification, all those we did. Now everything is online. I did not go to library, I did not go for searching for my books. Everything has become online. You have got all electronic journals. You have got all online academic database, software packages. So what these does, these two milestones help the researcher to conduct more sophisticated analysis. It is able to even collaborate across geographical boundaries. So we all publish papers and scopus along with the foreign authors. So that you say here as collaboration across geographical boundaries. Myself and one more author from a foreign, we are able to collaborate and we are able to publish a paper. So that is help only because of this digital transformation. The era of big data. What do you mean by big data? Everybody talks about big data. We all know what is data. We don't know what is big data. The exponential growth of the digital data gave rise to a concept of big data. Scientific disciplines began generating enormous data through satellites, to sensors, which actually have been sequencing technologies through social media and digital transactions. Earlier, we could have large data sets, which was only had the base for computational technologies. Now it has been moved from computational technologies to digital data. So that you say as big data. Rise of AI in research. What AI does? This AI has actually made research more easier. We need not use all those systems, the earlier systems which we need to go browse, do everything. Now everything we are getting in the form of patents. If you could see, now the concept is data analytics. So what they do here, the big data or the large sum of data is being, data sets is being analyzed, and they bring out some visualizations, the form of patents, some trends. All these we are able to make some recommendations, some predictions for what? Just for improving the performance of the experience through researcher. So if you could see here, now the rise of AI in research helps in review of in collecting reviews, in hypothesis generation, in framing the research design, in data collection, image recognition, patent identification, and so on. Even could given recommend us what we need to do further for our publications. As I said, the research 5.2. What is the research 5.2? Everybody would know the concept of industry 5.2. From industry 5.2, we have moved to the concept of research 5.2. What this research 5.2 talks about? It talks about how human and intelligence missions, how human researchers are being replaced by humans and intelligent missions. So this 5.4 mainly focuses on human-centered innovation, AI-assisted decision-making, ethical research practices, sustainable scientific development, open collaboration, transparent algorithm, and responsible AI deployment. So in Research 5.4, what we done, AI serves as an intelligent partner that enhances human creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. As I said, this Research 5.2 is the collaboration of human and intelligent mission. Earlier we had only human researchers. Now it is a collaboration of humans and intelligent machines. So what are the characteristics of research in the area of intelligent technology? Modern research differs significantly from traditional scientific investigation. Intelligent technologies have transformed research into a highly connected, automated, interdisciplinary, and data-driven process. The first characteristic is data-driven decision making. What is data-driven decision making? We all know that. You just take an example of healthcare researchers. If it's healthcare researchers, they need to analyze millions of patient data. Is it possible for an individual human being to analyze millions of patient data? It's very difficult. So what we do, we try to take the help of AI. What the AI does, AI actually it helps us to differentiate the data as structured data and unstructured data. So with the structured and unstructured data, we are able to identify the patterns. So AI helps us in identifying the patterns, which is really difficult for the human researcher to do with millions of patient data. So data-driven decision making is the AI helps the researcher in analyzing large sum of data sets. So what this data-driven research does, it improves the accuracy, reliability of scientific findings. So next, automation of research tasks. What is automation of research tasks? As we said earlier, research has many repetitive research activities. For example, review of literature search, data cleaning, statistical tools being done. SPS is what we do. We do coding of data, and then we do a grammar check, and then we try to format it. Then finally we go for a plagiarism check using Turnitin or any other tool, so that our data, our thesis is plagiarism free. But all this is done in one stretch using AI. So AI automation helps in avoiding repetitive research activities. Interdisciplinary collaboration assistant, AI platform collaborates the researcher from different countries and different disciplines to work together in real time. For example, myself from management background, the other person from computer science, other person from engineering, all the three can collaborate together and work on real time basis. So that you say is all the complex global challenges can be done with the help of AI. Next, cloud-based research infrastructure. What do you mean? Cloud computing. Cloud computing helps the researcher with the access to scalable computing resources without requiring expensive local hardware. So I need not have a server, I need not have a very server room with all my equipment, so that only I can use the data to cloud computing. Cloud computing made the researchers reduce the hardware devices. So what I do, I am able to access the collaborative workspace. I'm able to even have a remote access. I'm able to store large scale of data. All these are done through cloud-based research infrastructure. What is real-time analytics? This is often relied only on historical data sets. As I said, suppose you give an example of a sales data for the previous quarter. Based on the previous quarter sales data, we can now analyze what could be the next quarter's sales, what could be the next quarter predictions. All these can be done through real-time AI, that you say as real-time analytics, that we could know that the data analytics is being done in 4 ways: descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and presumptive analytics. So all these are, you say, as real-time analytics. Next, predictive intelligence. What do you mean by predictive intelligence? Suppose I'm a human being, I just want to ensure that what will be my health score in the next 10 years. So what are all the disease I may get? So all these predictions can be done using machine learning. That is, for example, as I said, it helps to predict the future outcome by learning from historical data, that you say as machine learning models are used in predictive intelligence. So this predictive intelligence supports evidence-based planning and decision making. So suppose, assume I always used to take more fast foods. I use take all processed foods. Then if I go for a health score, AI can tell me that in the next 5 years, what are the disease I may get. So from that intuition or from the result which the AI forecast to me, I try to control my food habits. I'll try to change my lifestyle. All these happens with the help of predictive intelligence. Open science and knowledge sharing. What is open science? Open science is an open access publication. That is, it helps in promoting transparency in my research. So whatever I have done, I can publish it in open science. Open science access. So what they do, they publish my research so that it is very transparent and it avoids, what is that? Duplicacy in research. The others cannot reproduce my research because my research is easily accessible for them as it is transparent. So that you say as open science and knowledge sharing. Human collaboration, yes, we all know human AI collaboration is what AI contributes in all your automation activities. As I said, human intelligence and machine intelligence lead to robust research outcomes. Continuous learning system. What is continuous learning system? AI improves systems help us to access for more data. So if I have more data, what I do? My predictions will be more easy. So with the help of my predictions, my Decision making will be more easy, and then I can also even give personalized recommendations and try to improve my automation. So continuous learning enables research systems to evolve alongside scientific knowledge. Last one, global research network. Yes, the digital technology has transformed scientific collaboration into a global enterprise. Researchers can now share all your data sets, the algorithms, the software, the publications, whatever you have, you can transform that on the global platform so that all the ecosystems are interconnected. As I said earlier, it will reduce the duplication effort. Others cannot copy my research further. Now let's start understanding what is intelligent technologies. Intelligent technology starts first with AI. So AI refers to the ability of the computer system to perform tasks that normally human intelligence requires. Tasks could be learning, problem solving, decision making, reasoning, and so on. The modern AI systems have combined algorithms with large data sets. As I said earlier, data sets combined with algorithms, what they produce. They help in identifying patterns, trends, make recommendations, and then they also help in generating insights and predictions. So that is the use of modern AI systems. So what is the core capabilities of AI? Learning from data, pattern recognition, natural language processing, decision support, reasoning, and autonomous planning. So the major branches of AI is what the earlier in the starting we learned. What is that? Machine learning, deep learning, robotics, NLP. NLP is what? Natural language processing. Fuzzy logic, you would have heard the word fuzzy logic, which they usually use in mathematics. Fuzzy learning. So what AI does in research? AI helps in identifying the relevant literature. It helps in designing the experiment, generating hypotheses. It helps to recommend me references. It helps to analyze the data, whatever I have. It predicts outcomes and it also assists in scientific writing. So the first is AI. Second one is machine learning. So the major branches of AI are machine learning, deep learning, NLP, computer vision, expert systems, robotics, reinforcement learning, evolutionary computing, fuzzy logic, and knowledge-based systems. Now let's do one by one. Machine learning. So what is machine learning? We all would have studied Venn diagrams, theory of sets during our school days, during the mathematics in 9th or 10th, everybody would have studied sets, subsets. Here, AI, ML are sets and subsets. Machine learning is a subset of AI. So what it does, it helps the computers to learn patterns from the data without being programmed for every task. So what this machine learning does, machine learning tries to improve our performance and to find the relationship between data sets. The first type is supervised learning. In machine learning, I've got four types. The first type is supervised learning. So from the word supervised learning, what would we predict? We could predict that AI helps us in learning. Supervised learning. It means it uses labeled data. So supervised learning is you're using labeled data which predicts the outcomes based on known examples. So whatever earlier data is being fed to me, based on the earlier data, AI will be able to predict. That is predicting outcome based on known examples, which is already known to the AI, which is already does have a basic idea. It will be able to give us the further output or the pattern. Example, disease diagnosis. So earlier, thousands of patient record would have been fed in the system. From that record, it could be able to predict what could be the future disease that you say as disease diagnosis. And then we all would have got some loan. Everybody have got a CIBIL score. So when you have more customer data, it is easy for the AI to give individual customer CIBIL score or a credit scoring before getting a loan. So that is called supervised learning, because already some data is there in the system. The system knows how to work on that. Then that will be able to predict the patterns or the outcomes based on known examples, that is say as supervised learning. What is unsupervised learning? It uses unlabeled data. What is unlabeled data? That means it is able to discover hidden patterns or groups. So that is, for example, in the questionnaire, if we drop the questions in the questionnaire, few questions they may not give importance while doing data research or data analysis. So that data will remain hidden in the database. So with the help of the hidden data, the system is able to give you some patterns that you say as unsupervised data. Example, customer segmentation. What is customer segmentation? We all know that there are many types of customer segmentation. Only few customer segmentation is being used by the marketers for their market to serve. Few other segmentations remain untouched. So what this AI does? AI tries to get data which is hidden. From the hidden data, it is able to give you some patterns, some predictions that you say as unsupervised learning. Semi-supervised learning is what? Combining both supervised and unsupervised. That is some amount of labeled data, some amount of unlabeled data. I try to use these two so that my time consuming is reduced. That you say as semi-supervised learning. Reinforcement learning. What is reinforcement? We all know the reinforcement theory, right? What is reinforcement learning? That means I'm able to learn through trial and error. That means the application gives you rewards or penalties for the actions which you do. For example, games we all play in the mobile, right? Gaming apps are there. So what the robotics AI does here, if you win, it gives you reward points. If you lose, your points will get reduced or you'll be sent to jail, etc., etc. All those are, you say, as reinforcement learning. So what's the common machine learning algorithm which we use? So when you talk about machine learning, you use many algorithms. What are those? Linear regression, decision trees, a random forest, support vector missions, gradient boosting. All these are the common algorithms that is being used in machine learning. So what is the application of machine learning in research? Machine learning has become the most widely used AI supported system in modern scientific research because it helps to uncover the complex relationship in large data sets. For example, drug discovery, medical diagnosis, business intelligence, climate predictions. So all these are areas in which we can use machine learning. Then let's have a look on deep learning. So now what are things we saw? We saw what is AI, what is machine learning. Now we have a quick review on what is deep learning. So what is deep learning? Something which we go in depth and learn. You see deep learning. A deep learning actually, if you could remember the traditional mission algorithms, what they did, it required manual engineering feature. But this new deep learning is a specialized branch of machine learning which actually employs artificial neural networks with multiple hidden layers of the model to model highly complex patterns. So when you say patterns, what I said, you remember, patterns are something which we are able to find out from the earlier historical data. So here, what this deep learning does, deep learning is actually like combining our brain. It is inspired by the function of the brain. For example, the brain, what and all things are, all our five sensory organs are linked. Our neural network is linked. We have the response to stimuli, oh, response to stimuli, and then we are able to recognize our speech. Now we have got this in the Google. If I'm not able to type, I just give a voice recognition and ask them to search about deep learning. It gives me what is deep learning. So all these you say as a specialized branch of machine learning which employs artificial neural network with hidden layers. So what it does, this is actually helping in research for learning automatically from large data sets. So what is the characteristics of deep learning? I'm able to learn automatically from large data sets. That is it, cloud computing, big data, which as a researcher, we are not able to search for. AI helps us in analyzing data from large data sets. It helps to process structured and unstructured data. It supports end-to-end learning. This deep learning has more research applications in areas like healthcare, cancer detection, disease prediction, drug discovery. So what is deep learning does? So deep learning is what researchers are working with large scale images, large sum of data. Along with that, you have got your speech, your neural network, natural language, all these clubbed together, you say as deep learning. So now we had a rough idea of what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is deep learning. Now we'll see what is generative AI. I think in our earlier session in this FDP, the first session was taken by Rupesh Kumar sir, in which he would have taught you about generative AI in research. So what is generative AI? Generative AI is more advantageous because it helps to accelerate the research workflow. It reduces the repetitive research work. It supports interdisciplinary collaboration. It enhances the creativity of the researcher. So what this generative AI does? Generative AI creates new content with text, image, video, music, scientific hypothesis, and simulation, computer coding, etc. So the emergence of transformer-based architecture has dramatically improved AI-generated outputs. So let me see what are the major capabilities of generative AI, what it can do. Generative AI, as I said, it can generate research summary. Suppose all the 500 pages of your thesis, you want to give a summary. Generative AI quickly go through all your pages and gives you the summary of your research in a small nutshell. It can draft manuscript based on your thesis. It can produce computer programs. It can help you in translating your academic paper from one language to another language. It tries to give you simulation, helps in designing experiments. So what all these platforms does, all these platforms reduce the time of the researcher. What it does, it actually improves the accessibility of the early researcher. What is the main limitation of the generative AI? You may have ethical issues. You may have copyright concerns. You may have bias in generated output. So that is with respect to generate AI. So we saw what is AI, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, what is generative AI. Now let's move on to LLMs. LLMs are large language models. So what these large language models do? Researchers explore AI agents, multi-agents, what they do for scientific discovery. So for this scientific discovery, what they do, they try to use agent assistants. They are called AI agents. So what it does, they assist in reviewing literature, in summarizing thousands of papers, in extracting research gaps, in writing you research grant proposals, and giving you peer review assistance and so on. So what does ALM does? So LLM helps in enormous collection of text to, and they change it to the human language. So thousands of papers together, this AI, if you give us the input, the output will be in a generative AI form, which usually able to the researcher is able to understand in a very easy language. So this LLM is the base for software engineering, is the base for business analytics. So what this LLMs do? As I said, LLMs actually try to explore AI agent that you say as multi-agent or AI agents. So these agents helps in collaborative problem solving. So what this LLM does, we already discussed, it tries to help you in reviewing in many ways, like reviewing literature, summarize thousands of papers, and then peer review assistance and so on. So with respect to this research application of LLM, if you could please make a note that the current LLM is evolving on questions like whether autonomous scientific assistance will be able to plan a research task. For example, now if you go for a doctor, we have got online appointments in the website, or we have got chatbot, or we have got virtual assistant. So what they do, they try to give us a appointment for the doctor online. So without making a phone call, even we are able to do something online with the help of the chatbot or the virtual assistant which is appearing on the screen. So this similarly now in LLM, the next trend which is going to emerge is that autonomous scientific assistant. So instead of researcher, can researcher be replaced by a person called autonomous scientific assistant who will be able to plan the research task, whether it is possible or not. But this is the emerging research in the area of LLM. Next, we go for IoT. We all know IoT is Internet of Things. So what this Internet of Things does? Internet of Things actually generates continuous streams of real-time data, which actually enhance the research quality and predictive analytics. So what does IoT does? IoT is able to interconnect physical device with sensors or with in any other system related device. For example, in healthcare, if you could see, we have got sensors, we have got wireless instruments, wearable devices, remote patient monitoring, cloud platforms, edge computing. All these are you say as IoT. What is IoT? IoT is it refers to the interconnection between the physical device equipped with the sensor. So the research application of IoT can have the example of healthcare. In healthcare, the devices which we use are wearable devices. All these are examples for IoT. Next, we go for blockchain technology. Whenever we talk about blockchain technology, we remember cryptocurrency. So blockchain is actually the digital ledger. So in earlier days, if you go for banks, they've got physical cash book, jotting notes, manual vouchers, all those. Now everything has moved to systemized. So blockchain is a decentralized digital ledger, which actually records the transactions securely and transparently. So this has more application in scientific research. For example, it helps in intellectual property protection. So, for example, IPR rights. IPR rights. Suppose I try to invent a new device and just giving an IPR rights for that, I may take a copyright of the device. In that case, this blockchain technology helps me in what is that transparency of whatever I have found out, but it will ensure that nobody else is copying my own original ideas. That is tamper resistant. So nobody can use my scientific findings and claim that this product is their product. So that is the help of blockchain technology. Digital twins. What do you mean by digital twins? Digital twins are actually the representation of physical system to receive the real world data to stimulate the behavior and future outcomes. For example, healthcare, we digital twins are used to reduce cost, improve safety in all areas like aerospace, manufacturing. What they do, the digital twins help the researcher to conduct experiments virtually. I tried just to reduce my cost. I tried to experiment it virtually and put that into real world intervention. For that, I use digital twins. Then something called robotics. So what robotics is, we all know. Now even many multi-specialty hospitals are using robotics as what is that? Surgical assistant. So the robotics gives them the equipment while doing the surgery. That is what you say as modern robotics integrates AI, sensors. Now it is being used for laboratories to conduct experiments so that it reduces the minimal human intervention. Next, Edge AI. What is Edge AI? Edge AI performs AI functions on local devices. For example, I have got a surveillance camera in my home. I have got a automatic camera or an automatic sensor in my home that you say as Edge AI. That is just for the local device I'm using it rather than relying on the entire cloud computing. So my city would have been under surveillance, but I have my own surveillance camera at home for my own purpose, so that my real time responses are very much essential whenever it is required. But my internet connectivity will be very limited. My Wi-Fi will be across only few distance from my house. That you say as Edge AI. Next, quantum computing. Yes, everybody talk about quantum physics, quantum engineering, quantum computing. What are these? Earlier, we used to talk about bits, bytes, 0, 1, etc. Now, everybody talk about quantum computers use qubits, QUBITS. So, this QUBITS represents that how you will have the scientific commutation in the next few decades to come. So that you say as quantum computing. So that is used in the area of drug discovery, financial modeling, and so on. So when I come quantum computing, I could feel that here the primary function is that it has more advanced commutation. And then the research application, it could be more optimization rather than a real-time analytics. Now we have come across the many intelligent technologies. To brush up, we started with AI, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI. Then we move to large language models, IoT, blockchain, digital twin, robotics, edge AI, and we stop with quantum computing. Now we'll see how AI is helpful across research life cycle. The integration of AI and all the earlier intelligent technologies which we have studied now has transformed the research life cycle by automated repeated tasks. It enhances analytical capability, enabling data-driven decision making. Rather than replacing researchers, AI acts as an intelligent collaborator, augmenting human creativity, critical thinking, and scientific rigor. So, what does AI can do in research? AI can do research in first step is problem identification, research gap. So, what is problem identification? You have to identify a novel, meaningful research problem. Correct? So, for identifying a novel, meaningful research problem, AI helps me. How it helps? I have got millions of scholarly articles. So, AI helps me in reviewing it. AI helps me in duplication of research to be avoided. It supports me with evidence in topic selection. So now, with the help of AI, so researchers can make decisions regarding the originality and relevance of the proposed studies based on AI because it assists them in problem identification, research gap identification, as well as recommendation for the emerging topic. The next step in research is review of literature. As we discussed earlier, review of literature forms the foundation for every research. Traditionally, we have been reviewing more research papers. Now, AI helps us in reviewing the research papers. What are the popular AI tools which we can use for research review of research are ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, Sciencey Space, Elicit, Research Rabbit. All these are the various tools which we can use for your review of literature mapping. Because this helps us in faster literature review, improving more coverage of research, better understanding of the research evolution. So the second step is review of literature. And the third step in the research cycle is research design. So what is research design? How it can be formulated? We all are aware of that. But still, what AI does here is AI helps us in selecting the appropriate variables. Yes, we need to identify different variable, indifferent variable, moderating variable. All these, it is difficult for a researcher to identify. So what AI does? AI helps us in identifying the appropriate variable. It helps us in giving us selecting the right sample technique. And then it helps us in question of improvement. All these are AI helps. For example, if I'm a healthcare researcher, I'm going to study about diabetics. So AI helps me in identifying variables with respect to blood glucose level, body mass index, what is my diet, what are the physical activity I do, what are my family history. So all these are helps me in hypothesis development. And then the next step is data collection. So we all know intelligent technologies helps in improving collecting large data sets. So what's the benefit of that? The benefit of that, it reduces manual effort. It improves accuracy. It helps me to analyze data when the sample is large. So that researcher can now collect millions of observations within hours rather than months. So what are the sources through which I can collect and enable the data as what? We all know that it could be online survey, social media platform. With respect to healthcare, it can be EHR or EMR, that is electronic health records or electronic medical records. It could be wearable devices. All these are the various AI and enabled data collection tools. Whenever I collect the data, I need to ensure that the data is proper Data cleaning has to be done before data is being analyzed in the system. So what I need to do for the data cleaning, I need to remove the duplicate records. I need to find out the missing values. I need to ensure that all the data is in correct format. So all these I need to do. For doing all these, AI helps. How AI helps? AI helps in doing data transformation. It ensures the data which we prepare is of high quality so that the reliability and the validity test can be conducted successfully with the data before doing the data analysis. So because data preparations consume more time for the researcher. When you are using AI, all these time is being reduced. So next we go for the data analysis. So what we all did earlier, myself and you all would have done chi-square, ANOVA, correlation, regression. All these are the various statistical method which we use. So now what we are doing for the data analysis, we are relying on machine learning, deep learning, clustering, natural language processing, which you could remember, which in the starting I just mentioned you about natural language. What is natural language? That is all your sensory organs are being interlinked and the system is able to read your mind, that you say as generative AI. So all these are AI based methods. What are those? Machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, NLP, predictive analytics, and clustering. So once I do this data analysis, next step is what? Data visualization. You remember I've told you, we all are using Amazon, Flipkart. Everybody would have checked their dashboards. What do you mean by dashboards? In Amazon, Flipkart, everybody have got your login, you've got a profile, you've got a recommendation, you've got a wish list, you have got a browsing history. All those are who has done all those. Generative AI is able to read your inner mind. It is able to bring out your raw data into interactive dashboards, graphs, maps. All those are effective visualization, which helps the researcher to get more clear understanding of the data. So when I suppose I browse something in the Amazon app, I would buy it. Next time, whenever the product is being available in the cheaper date, when I just log in, it gives me in recommendation, or it gives me in wish list, or it gives me a prompt whenever I log in. So that you say as generative AI. So that helps in data visualization. Next is what? Whatever data I have collected, prepared, cleaned, and whatever data analysis and interpretation I have done, I have to write in a systematic order. That you say as scientific writing. So what is scientific writing? Scientific writing is said as the academic writing. So what they do here, I use AI to ensure that my academic writing is more clear. I'm able to use my correct English. The originality of my idea is being maintained. My language is being correct. The title, whatever I have given, is appropriate. All these areas, AI is able to assist me. So what happens? This helps me in ensuring my data, whatever factual data I gave, is accurate. My thesis is free from plagiarism. I am ethically use the AI tools. All these, because all these are the human errors which we make. So all these human errors or human oversight mistakes can be overcome by using your scientific writing method, for which we use the AI. Next is reference management. What is reference management? Yes, we all need, you have been following APS style, MLM style, all those styles we have been following for reference. So whatever data given with thesis, I need to ensure that it carries the correct reference. So AI helps me in auto-generating the bibliography. I need not go on the book and search for the page number. I need not go and search for the journal page number, the article where I have quoted. So this reference management tool in AI helps us in synchronizing the whole library across our system. So it helps in organizing the citations, because I would have referred hundreds of papers. It could be books, it could be journals, it could be newspaper cuttings, or it could be something over some conference proceedings. So it is difficult for me to note, but AI helps me in doing all these in a systematic manner. So that tool you see as reference management. The popular tools used for this are Mendeley, EndNote, and Zotero. So all these three are the popular tools which we use for reference. Again, I say it is Mendeley, EndNote, and Zotero. All these are the very intelligent technology that is used for reference management for your thesis. Next, peer review and publication. Yes, whatever we do, we need to do some publications based on our research. So AI even helps for that. So whatever journal I have chosen, for example, uh, publishing a paper in Scopus, the way it is given is different from that of a IEEE paper publication. That is different from that of a UGC care, different that of a peer review. Each have their own style, their own formatting style. So AI helps me in supporting those peer review process. It helps me in putting that in a particular order, particular format, so that it improves my efficiency. That also helps the author to prepare high quality papers. So AI tool helps the author to prepare high quality paper. Then research dissemination. So that is the final stage of the research. That is whatever I have found out, I need to communicate my findings to whom? To the common people, to my research head, to the media, or to the professional university where I have done. For that, I need to adhere the rules and regulations of the particular university. I need to know what is what, how to give my presentations, or in which way my research thesis has to be published and all those. So AI helps even for that. So this intelligent technology supports through what? Through expanding my visibility, my accessibility, and social impact of my scientific research. So this AI says title selection to the research dissemination. That is how this intelligent technology works. And a bit of what is generative AI in academic research. Generative AI actually, as I said earlier, transforms your academic research into a mission-enabled research, which can create your outcome in the form of images, visualizations, and that undergo a research cycle. The first step would be rule-based system. So what is rule-based system? As we all know, all AI has predefined rules, and it has it couldn't learn from the data. So the first phase of generative AI was it has predefined rules. So whatever is already being fixed, it could learn only from that. You remember we studied supervised learning, unsupervised learning. The first phase was rule-based. Second phase was machine learning models. So second phase was somewhat better than the earlier phase, where we could machine learning could enable the computers to find out what are the patterns. Then we went for deep learning. So what is deep learning? remember we talked about the sensory organs, speech processing, image recognition, NLP. And then the fourth phase is transform architecture, which means that the NLP is being made into a transformation to understand long range context. So we all would know what is architecture. It is the framework or remember a model or a framework or a mind map. It is similar to that. So here what they do, all your natural languages are being made into a long range context. So finally, the foundation model and the multimodal model. So remember your PERT diagrams, CPM diagrams, you have got nodes. Similarly, here we have got modes that they say as all your text, audio, video, code, everything is being linked together. That we say as multimodal AI. So these are the various phases that the generative AI has undergone. The main generative AI tools, you all know that. Let me even tell you a few things. What it is about. ChatGPT, everybody know. ChatGPT is used for, mainly used for brainstorming research ideas. And then Gemini we all use for image interpretation. Yes, we all actually give our own image in Gemini and try to make a duplicate image of ourselves that we say use for Gemini. Claude particularly used for long academic documents. For example, I've got a 1,000-page report. I've got a 1,000-page report which is difficult for me to read. Then I can use Claude. Claude is effective for analyzing long academic documents. That is, please take a note that Claude can be used for reviewing lengthy reports. Microsoft Copilot, we all know that we use only for Excel, SPSS, PPT generation. For all those, you can use that tool. Perplexity AI is combining conversational AI with web-based information. So what it does, whatever data the researcher gives, it tries to find out some evidence for that, so that this data is reliable on that. It tries to get you citation support. Has anybody else quoted the same earlier or not? For that, we use Perplexity AI. Next, Elicit. Elicit usually we use for review of literature. It tries to give you some evidences. And then we have Sciencey Space. This is only for scientific papers. Usually, our management and commerce people don't use this. It's used for scientific papers where there is a variation in the methodology. I have some doubt what experiment to be carried out, what type of research I can do with respect to experiments. I can take help of that. Like consensus is for only have what to say, clinical research from policy documents. For that, we can use this consensus. So all these are major generative AI tools for researcher. As I said earlier, I told you the recent trending thing that is going to come in the near future is everybody is going to use autonomous scientific assistant, that you say as AI agents. So what is AI agents? AI agents are the software systems which is capable of planning tasks. It gives, we all use stick-ons, right? We just plan what today we need to do. We just write a do today list. Similarly, AI agents in research helps us in organizing our academic database. It helps us in doing more work together. That is, working to AI agents work along with humans, and they are capable of planning a task. They are able to even execute multi-step research workflows. So when we have a research workflow, we cannot do multi-steps. It's difficult for us to do reviews, as well as it is difficult for us to do data collection together. But AI agents is able to do multitasking together, that you say as multi-step research workflows. So in the future, you may have AI agents in research, which actually help the researchers. Prompt engineering. Yes, everybody are using ChatGPT. We all know what we type is called prompts. Based on what search word you type or the keyword you use, your prompt goes to the system. That you say as prompt engineering. The prompt engineering is the practice of designing clear, specific instructions that guide AI to give you useful responses. So whatever I type, suppose if I want to have something about what is AI. So what usually you will type, what is AI? That is a very big prompt. That is not to be written. For example, you have to write that provide a critical review of AI applications in healthcare between 2022 and 26. Also, I highlight the research gap approximately in so much words, etc. All these, if you mention, the whatever result you get will be more accurate. That you say as strong prompts. So effective prompts are strong prompts that improve the accuracy, reduce the ambiguity, and enhance the usefulness of AI. Whatever prompt you write has to be more explanatory, so that AI will search deep into it and bring you a very efficient data. So don't use big prompts. Try to use strong prompts while searching data in whatever AI tools you use, because the quality of the AI output depends on the prompt you have provided. So try to use strong prompts instead of weak prompts. Next, AI in systematic literature review, as we all say, it is called SLR. SLR is systematic literature reviews. This helps in identifying, screening, evaluating, and synthesizing evidence from large number of studies. As we discussed earlier, I have got millions of reviews, so it is difficult for me to extract the what is the research gap. In that case, I can use AI for system review literature. That is called SLR. AI for statistical analysis, which we have already seen, predictive analytics, clustering, classification. All these you can use for statistical analysis. The popular softwares which we use are Python or SPSS, MATLAB. All these are the popular softwares which we use for statistical analysis. AI fits with respect to computers related pieces of coding and programming. Also, we can use AI because AI supports the research for scientific questions. It gives you a in-depth thinking of the questions rather than the programming syntax. So AI for coding is very much important. To reduce the routine tasks, generative AI enables us in various areas. Now let's see the applications of AI across research disciplines. For example, healthcare and medical research. We all know that healthcare is the most profound transformation that is through intelligent technologies. AI supports researchers in disease diagnostics, drug discovery, medical imaging, public health surveillance. So, what are the major applications in that? We can use AI for X-rays, CT scan, MRI scan, and then drug discovery, and so on. For example, if on the recent global health crisis, AI was used. AI was used to predict infection trends. AI was able to accelerate vaccine development. AI helped in reducing healthcare costs. AI improved in diagnostic accuracy. All these are the benefits of using AI in healthcare and medical research. Then engineering research. Engineering research, we have studied about digital twins, robotics, all these are AI-driven simulations. So what this AI applications you have here, AI applications in engineering could be in the areas of industrial automation, autonomous robots, smart transportation, structural health monitoring, smart manufacturing, and so on. So these innovations contribute to efficient, safer, and sustainable engineering solutions. Next, our area business and management research. We all know that business research has shifted from descriptive analytics to predictive and presumptive analytics to AI. Even now, all your consumer behavior, your human resource, CRM, all these have changed to recommendation system, sentiment analysis, predictive modeling. So what are the benefits of this? The benefits of this is that it has improved decision making. It has enhanced customer satisfaction. It has increased the operation efficiency. It has shown the competitive advantage of one company over the other. Education research, yes, we all are using AI in each and every area. For example, in predicting student performance, education chatbots, in designing curriculum, all those we use AI. So AI supported lifelong learning is done through virtual laboratories, AI assisted classroom management. Next, if you could see agriculture research, the main applications are crop disease detection, smart irrigation, weather forecasting, pest management. All these are being done. Now we have got AI, drones, remote sensing technologies, which actually help in improving the productivity and sustainable farming. Few other areas are environmental and climate research. In environmental climate research, if you could see, it helps in climate modeling, air quality monitoring, and then flood prediction. All these are because climate change represents a complex challenge during the advanced tools. Next, if we could see financial research, we all know credit scoring, fraud, fraud reduction, risk management, behavioral science, digital finance, green finance. All these are the areas in which AI can be involved. In social science, it could be for policy population, for election studies, for demographic studies, for public opinion. All these we can use AI. And then research 5.0, let me conclude with research 5.0. Research 5.0 is a new paradigm. It is a new paradigm which focuses mainly on automation. From industry 5.0, we have moved to research 5.0, which means that AI is able to process vast amounts of data. It has replaced the human, not human, but human expertise. So the core principles of research 5.0 is human-centric research. It means that researchers are responsible only for defining the research questions. Rest everything AI will do. Ethical innovation, AI systems help in developing research fairly, transparently, and responsibly. Sustainability, we all know SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. So whatever I contribute, that should be related to environmental sustainability. Inclusivity, is intelligent technologies reduce inequalities by expanding access to scientific knowledge and research resources. Collaboration is research 5.0. Actually, it integrates human and AI. That is, we are able to have partnership with AI. That you say as AI, human AI collaboration. If time permits, let me just tell you what it is. EXAI, explainable artificial intelligence, that you say as XAI. XAI is one of the branch of AI which actually develops AI systems based on predictions and recommendations, which is interpreted by humans. For example, system gives me some predictions, but human has the right to interpret the predictions. For example, in healthcare industry, medical diagnosis, whatever AI gives, a doctor did not blindly accept that. He can even interpret the AI, whatever AI gives us predictions or recommendations. That you say as explainable AI, XAI. Then we have got responsible AI. Responsible AI is that it actually relates to your corporate governance, how fair, how transparent, how accountable your research is, how private your research is, how the data is made more sensitive, how safety you have got your robust system, whatever you have found out, is it sustainable? That you say yes. And then let me conclude with saying the emerging techniques or the emerging trends that is going to come in the near future. In the near future, you may have autonomous scientists. What do you mean by autonomous scientists? AI will do all the experiments. Humans will be able only to just watch, monitor, and supervise what the AI does. That could be called as autonomous science. Multi-agent, you remember me just talking about agent AI. Yes. Too many multi-specialized AI agents work together, you say, as multi-agent. One agent is for review of literature, one agent is for coding, one agent is for writing, all together do a research. That you say as multi-agent research. Self-driving laboratories, that means without human touch. AI, robot, machine learning, digital twins, which I explained you, all these can conduct experiments by their own without human intervention. Scientific foundation model, large scale AI models. So, what do? They try to do research in space, all space research, climate modeling, new drug discovery, all these comes in scientific foundation model. Quantum AI, we talked about quantum computing, quantum engineering, quantum physics. And what is quantum AI? Quantum AI here creates new opportunity for solving problems, for simulation problems. For example, cryptography. Cryptography can be done through quantum AI. Human AI co-creation, that is, how about genes, genomic cloning. Similarly, we have got human AI co-creation. Scientists, researchers are replaced by AI. Humans just need to provide the creativity, ethics, and the understanding for AI, which the AI will do in the future. So the future research agenda can be in all these areas: sustainable AI, human AI, quantum AI, digital twins, and so on. So to conclude, I just thank you for your patient listening for all these other. In the intelligent technologies, we have gone through about AI, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, IoT, blockchain, quantum computing. So all these technology have accelerated and reshaped the research. So whatever I'm able to find out in my research, I need to ensure that I am using more amount of intelligent technologies in that. To what? To why? To bring out my research more with evidence-based. My research should have advanced data analytics. My research should facilitate interdisciplinary collaboration. My research should avoid automated repetitive tasks. To carry out all these, I need to use intelligent technologies. The concept of research 5.0 is based on the use of intelligent technology. So ultimately, future of research not depend on technological advancement, but on the collective ability to ensure that these technologies are responsibly used. For example, how we are using responsible AI, how we are using explainable AI, and so on. So I conclude that these intelligent technologies accelerate the research life cycle, and it helps us in realizing the potential of collaborative efforts which we require for the researchers, universities, governments to establish robust standards and ensure we are able to access to intelligent technologies. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Hello? If you got any questions, I'm ready to answer, or else we can conclude. Sir? Friends, have got any questions?
Dear
Thank you,
participants,
everyone.
kindly raise your questions if you have any doubts.
Yes, so sorry to say I've taken much more of the time. I suppose more
You
than
can put
what
your
I
questions in
have
chat box
taken.
too. Raise your questions, dear participants. Dear participant, you can raise your questions in chat box. Madam? No questions, madam.
Okay, sir.
Now, I request Dr. Mohammed Masruddin, Government First Grade College, Bangar Tirupati, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Respected resource person, principals of both the colleges, faculty members, and dear participants, on behalf of the organizing team, it's my privilege and pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. We sincerely express our thanks and gratitude to our resource person, Dr. Padmavati, PA, Associate Professor of Commerce at Ahlia School of Management, Palakkad, for delivering such an informative and insightful lecture on research in the age of intelligent technologies. Once again, thank you, ma'am, for such an enlightening and insightful lecture. We extend our sincere thanks to all the participants who joined this session from across India and contributed to the success of this session through their active participation and keen interest. Once again, we extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Padmavati, today's resource person, for sharing her valuable knowledge and expertise with us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all the participants for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all the participants. We are winding up the session.
Sir, feedback link. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Now I'll put it in the chat box, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.